Do you know the difference between a good loan and a bad loan? That's what I want to discuss in this video. Let's define first what is a performing and a non-performing loan. So a performing loan, it's a note or it's a loan that the borrower is paying on time. Usually the definition, even if he's a bit behind or a bit slow payer, if he didn't miss like 3 payments, he's still categorized as performing. That's the performing. The non-performing is the other way. If the borrower, regardless what the security is, missed more than 3 payments, he is in the non-performing category, and basically the lender can foreclose or he can start communicating with his borrower. What can we do? Basically, if you consider the borrower is a bit slow to pay, the communication start over there. Maybe something happened. Maybe something happened to this borrower, maybe like a big event, and maybe they're gonna need some time to fix those issues. So I want to discuss with you, if you are thinking about buying a note, or if you're thinking to hypothecate a note, you need to be aware of those kind of stuff. So the first thing, let's talk about performing. So when you're thinking about buying a performing note, right, you need to talk about what kind of history it has. So what's the payment history? What's the if it was everything on time, if it was the same amount, how long they made the payment, what kind of equity they have, what kind of interest rate, if it's depends what the source that you purchase it, if it's fixed, if it's variable. Sometimes you need to look at the quality of the borrower. But again, the history should say everything. And also, what kind of product is it? Is it a house, a commercial, a land? Is it owner-occupied? Is it investment? All this kind of stuff going to affect if you as a note buyer, or if you want to be a private lender to a note buyer for this kind of product, it's going to affect what kind of rate or what kind of price you're going to be able to get it. And the same thing with a non-performing one. You need to see what was the story. So they stopped paying. So they have been paying for 5 years, then they stopped. What happened? Maybe there was a bad divorce and they just want to sell everything. What if there is a lot of equity in this house or in this land? That's great. So again, if they don't want to stop paying, they just can sell the house. What kind of thing we can do? So again, let's assume you are buying a non-performing, or you're buying a performing, it's becoming non-performing. What can you do? So again, the first thing you can start to talk to them. Maybe you can tell them, let's make a payment plan. If you still owe, you can still, you're a bit behind for $1,500. Maybe you can make a payment plan just for this, to pay this $1,500 for the next 12 months and just put them back on track. Maybe you need to modify the whole loan. Depends on the situation and what's the value of the property. So you are the lender, or you're going to be the future of the future lender. What can you do? Maybe you think about it. I think probably this buyer going to go to default. Maybe you're going to go to an auction. Maybe I just need to hire, to allocate some funds to a foreclosure attorney, and then you're going to put it on the market. Maybe there is many scenarios. Maybe there's not much equity in the property. You're going to tell this borrower, listen, just give me the property and I'm going to release this loan from you, and that's it. So you can pay in cash or maybe nothing. So it's called deed in lieu or foreclosure. So there are many possibilities for you as an investor if you want to buy a note, or if you think about how to go together with a note investor to hypothecate the note. So basically, I like to originate notes. I like to buy land, and I like to sell them on owner financing. In some cases, I like to stay by just there with my own funds and to collect the payments. In other cases, what I'm doing, I have my own investor that I like to get like a monthly cash flow with a very good security for the cash. So I'm using them as my private lender. I'm hypothecating my notes to them. So again, the borrower is paying to me, I'm paying to them, and I'm just making the difference. And they are just collecting everything. And if something is happening to me, they're just taking over my step. What else? Also, other stuff that I'm doing, I'm buying existing notes. I prefer to focus on performing, and non-performing is a bit different game. I prefer not to do that. And because again, every state is different, I prefer to buy an existing and established notes. Sometimes I like to buy notes at closing with other investors. I mostly focus on owner financing notes. Investors are originating notes for good buyers. It's a good applicants. People that just cannot go with the traditional banking system. And they're going with private investors. So I like to buy those notes, and the same thing. Sometimes I'm using my own funds, or sometimes I'm partnering with a private investor, so I can pay them a very high, a very good, and a very secure interest rate for a long period of time. It can be from 7 to 9%.